Welcome to this quick live stream. Juliette Stapleton here, the host of Visibility That Sells group for coaches, experts, and service providers. Today, I posted just earlier, I made a post in this group and I said, did you know that only 1% of online users actually create content regularly? About 9% post ever so often, and 90% of users don't engage. They might sometimes comment, but they don't actually, not that they don't engage, they don't create content. So what does it mean for our marketing? If 90% of people are lurkers, you could be one of them. But if you want to create an impact in your business, attract the best clients that you deserve, get the recognition that you deserve, create that dream life that made you think about creating an online business, or not online, any kind of business, and become an expert in something in the first place, because there's always a why, there's always the vision that we have. So how do we get to that vision? Well, if you're using social media, which is Facebook, for example, is a brilliant place to build that visibility, awareness, attract clients, create connections, create relationships. Everybody is concerned about their life first. So maybe in a way, when you are tuning in somewhere where they say, you know, it's about you changing the world and helping others, and you're saying, well, you know what, I don't actually care right now about helping others on a global scale. I really just need to have a business that doesn't overwhelm me with either financial worries, or doesn't overwhelm me because I'm okay financially, but it's just too much work. Now, becoming visible and turning into not someone who is just online, not somebody who is ever occasionally post. So not the 90% of lurkers, not the 10% of or 9% of people who occasionally post, turning into that 1% who is constantly creating content, and therefore creating the center of that ripple effect that affects everything. First of all, it affects my own life from the point that I connect to people on a personal level, and it makes me feel good. It makes me feel good that some people are listening to what I have to say. You know, it's a normal feeling for everybody to feel good about being acknowledged for who they are, for your achievements, brilliance, or just for who you are, how you are. It's nice. It's pleasant. You know, we want that. We never say that this is a horrible thing for us to happen. Right? And I went through the period of time where I really tapped into this, and I was thinking, you know, what makes me happy? Well, being acknowledged makes me happy. You know, if somebody says to me, you truly did a great job, and you know, we really appreciate it. You know, they if it's a client, you know, they pay me accordingly, so that I never have to do anything like chase them for money, or, you know, there's none of these unpleasantness. It's really just the true reward for who you are. That feels good. Right? So that could be your reason. That could be your why. That could be your why to do more of things that will bring that life. That's what it was for me. My origin story is a lot about feeling underappreciated. It's a lot about feeling unimportant, even though I was doing so much and I was learning so much and I was, you know, bringing so much to the table and making a difference. So the facts were there, but appreciation wasn't. One of the reasons was because I was not building my visibility as an expert. I wasn't positioning myself. My brand, how they experienced me, lacked the authority. This is what a Visibility That Sells it is, a combination of a personal brand of who you are, how people feel when they come you know, into your world, and then also when they're working with you, how do they see you? Do they see you as an expert that they're happy to invest in, or do they see you as another kind of like a glorified employee who sends them invoices so they will work you like horse? Because some people feel like this about their employees, unfortunately. So I don't want to work with those kind of people ever again. I want to be that 1%, and therefore I will move everything in my day, and I will make priorities in such a way that my top priority is to create content. In other words, to show up. And this is why I am so consistent, especially with people who follow me on my personal profile. I'm always there. And it's true as well that if you look into your newsfeed for the next a week or two, you will notice that this principle works there, that there will be a small amount of people who are constantly in your newsfeed. Then you will see also quite a small amount of people who occasionally post there. And then there will be, if you go into your friends list on Facebook and see who you are connected, you will see how many people you never see. They never post. They never create content. When you create content, you are creating that splash and the ripple effect that then comes back. You give the energy and the energy comes back to you. So whether you are a woo-woo person and you think in terms of the energies, or whether you are just a real practical person, from practical point of view, if you are not there every day, if they don't see your face, they forget about you because there's just too much information online and offline. So it's hard to remember somebody who is inconsistent. But if you're there all the time, then you are on top of mind. So whenever the need for your area of expertise, you will be on top of mind. Plus the way they experience you in your personal brand, in the way you're showing up, for example, with video, will make a huge difference for those people to choose then to work with you against somebody else who is doing probably the same thing, because nobody is unique, really. It's so important to embrace this and to see how, for your marketing, knowing these statistics puts you in a position that you say, okay, so I know I need to be visible. I know I need to be showing up. Maybe you grabbed my ultimate visibility kit. You have all the prompts, so you don't even need to think of things, really. So use it, please. But say you have all these things, but where is that motivation? Where is that, why do you really need to do that? Because if you start doing this, if you start showing up every day and create content, you will become that 1% that other people follow. You will become that micro celebrity for your audience who is constantly there, and that creates a huge difference over time, not on 1 week, 2 weeks. It has to be over time, because growing a brand, growing a business, it's not a microwavable process. It's a marathon. You need to fall in love with the process, and the only way to do it is to create habits, is to create daily routine around creating content. And so by creating content, then you do become different, you do become unique, you do become that 1%. And that is the secret to successful marketing. That is the secret to visibility that sells. If you're not consistent, if you're not all the time there, if you're not focusing on creating valuable content that are value on your expertise level, but also your personal story level, the stories of lessons, the transformations of people, getting to know you, and where do you overlap with your ideal clients, this is where the beauty happens. There is Glow saying, yes, knowing that someone appreciates what you do or acknowledges what you that you go above and beyond feels fantastic. And yes, Glow, this is exactly my point. So for this is what happened in my life. I've been working with a lot of people who treated me fine, but they didn't acknowledge me. They didn't acknowledge that I'm actually going above and beyond. Because of pure ignorance, and they just didn't know what I'm doing. Like, they didn't know all the components. For them, the bottom line was important. They didn't know how much was involved. They didn't even realize that, if they had to do it, their heads would explode, right? But I was doing it with ease. So because they saw me doing it with ease, they didn't realize that it actually takes a lot of expertise to be able to do it with ease, right? So but still, for me, there was no acknowledgement. So my fulfillment need of being acknowledged, and everybody has their own fulfillment needs, and yours could be also, to feel acknowledged for the fact. So you're happy to go above and beyond. So am I. Everybody knows inside my Visibility That Sells mastermind group, everybody knows I go above and beyond. I sometimes even look at the testimonials and I'm like, please don't write that I'm going to, go to the end of the world and back for you, because it just gives like a wrong impression. But yes, it's true. I will do that. Right? This is how I pride myself on support. I pride myself on everything it takes to get results to someone who is ready to commit and do, what I'm asking them to do, of course, because I can't do things for people, you see. But yes, it's the truth, and it's changed so much with building my personal brand, with showing up, with using publicity, with using visibility, social media, particularly Facebook. When I say social media, for me, it was Facebook alone. I'm not even active on Instagram. I'm not even active on Twitter, LinkedIn. I only just repost some things there occasionally. There's not even a big strategy advantage there, but Facebook is where I connect, because social media visibility is not just for us to post and that's it and talk at the crowd. It's not about that. It's about one-on-one relationships. Even when you're watching somebody's video, when they're looking into the camera, they're looking into your eyes. This is one-on-one relationships. Whether you never spoken directly or not, you will still feel connected. This is why video is so important. There's so many things and so many advantages for showing up, and therefore you know that there is advantage, that there is this personal connection. So let's take it and be consistent with it. Let's prioritize in your day that creating content is what you're going to do before anything else, and definitely before working for other people. Like, you will do that work, but first you do your work, because you are more important. Your life and your dreams are more important. There's another thing. You can feel that it's very overwhelming because you're looking at how much you need to do, but all you have to do is do something every day. Just something. Just put one post out every day. Do one video every other day if you want. It's important that you have something like a calendar that you mark things. You cross off days when you post it. Just something that your brain sees that you've been consistent, and also sees when you were inconsistent, so you can get back on track. Because it's so important. And also, don't overthink about how groundbreaking every post need to be, because in that respect that will slow you down big time, but also just make sure it's not about how much you do every day, it's about that you do it, frequency. This is what's the most important thing. And sometimes, even just having your face ever so often posting a selfie with some, with the text, trust me, if everyone has a message, and when you start sharing, you will start training yourself, sharing more and more. I'm not talking about private details. I'm talking about just sharing a thought, an idea, in a more easy kind of flowing way. Because when I started, I didn't think of myself that I was a writer. I didn't even, I never could imagine me being published somewhere when I started. Even writing a long post, if I thought about, oh my God, I have to sit down and write a long post. Even now, if I say to myself, oh, Juliette, you haven't posted a long post in a while, you need to post a long post, it's overwhelming. That kind of pressure is unnecessary. What we need to do is just give yourself a permission to start and see where you go. And if it's a long post, great. If it's a shorter post, great. But it's all about expression and connection to whoever is on the other side, because that whoever could be your ideal client. And considering that 90% of people rarely post or even engage, the ideal clients can be still looking at you, still reading your posts, still watching your videos. This is why videos are so important, because if they don't engage, and they don't give Facebook any kind of indication that they're interested. So videos, at least if they watch, they continue being in your world. So that's why I wanted to do this live video today and say to you what it means. 90% don't engage, 1% only creates consistent content. Be the 1%. Be the 1%. That's the visibility. That's